Hi, Leah Santiago here, and this is my video blog on professional counseling skills. Right off the bat, what I noticed is that the sessions were a little different from the sessions that I had, although they had a lot of the aspects that I expected. Not only because I have had counseling in the past, I had 2 years of nonstop counseling, but also because my background is in psychology. So for me, I see a lot of the same, a lot of things that I was already used to see and study and read about um, during my bachelor's course, which I finished recently. But they demonstrated, the counselors demonstrated to be very knowledgeable, insightful, analytical thinking, the capacity of organizing the thoughts in their heads and put it back into summarization. Um, they were very respectful and caring in a very non-judgmental way, which is actually quite important because um, there is an aspect of opening up to a person that you don't know. So it's quite difficult sometimes, even though we look for a counselor, we decide to go and have counseling. It's weird to start talking about your most inner thoughts and most private thoughts with someone that you don't know. So the important thing is, sorry, oh, the they have to be relatable. We have to be relatable. We have to be people like people. We have to look and behave as humanly as possible. And obviously assume a very respectful, caring, non-judgmental attitude towards every one of our clients. The differences and the similarities, well, on that regard, I noticed that the first counselor summarized things quite well. They talked about it, and he summarized it, bring it back um, to his client, what they had talked about, what their plans were, and how they wanted to proceed from that point on. The second one used a lot of paraphrasing, which was a way to also confirm what the client's thinking or saying, because I use that in my day to day all the time. Until last year, I was working with customer service, and many a time you think people are saying something, and what you understand is not always what they're saying. So, paraphrasing is an excellent way of communication. It's a tool to enhance, improve communication. So, when you do that, you allow people an insight on what they said. The other thing is, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this. Sometimes we know things or we think we know things, but when we say them out loud, when they come out of our mouths, it's sort of an aha moment. It's different. It sounds different in our mouths than it sounded in our head. I don't know if you guys already had that type of feeling, but I have had this experience many a time. So it's very fruitful. It's profitable for your practice to use the rephrase, to paraphrase what the client says. Um, And I noticed that the third counselor used a lot of open ended questions. This is very important that we try to give them a little bit of the yarn, like, this was not planned, I swear. We give them a little bit and let them bring the whole thing out. That's what open ended questions do. as opposed to yes or no questions that will keep them a little bit inside themselves. We have to understand that this is a difficult situation for a lot of people. The fact that they are looking for counseling doesn't necessarily make them all forthcoming. So we have to be relatable. We have to let them feel very comfortable. In my case, when I had um, my sessions, my therapist, she very soon she realized that to me a soothing ambiance would be lower lights. I sometimes I was allowed to lay down, sometimes I was just sitting down. She worked a lot of um, relaxation and meditation techniques with me, which were greatly um, they they worked great for me. Um, I also worked with biofeedback, so I learned to trust her rather quickly because I could see that the results were coming in um, right after every session. So that was wonderful for me. So I saw a lot of what I expected already, what I knew had to be going on. Of course, those um, must have been staged, and because they were staged, they were a little stiff, but you could notice that inside of them it was exactly what they were, you know, showing those characteristics. um Let me see. All in all, they were engaging, they were insightful, and I think this is one of the things that we cannot stress enough, to to be personable, to let them know that they can trust us, that our primary concern, our primary directive is to help them, is to bring them out from where they are into the light. So I do believe that this is all for this video. Thank you so very much for listening. Until next time.